Next up on our tour of Schoology, I wanted to highlight two things. First up, next to courses are your groups that you belong to. If you don't see anything listed here, you can always click on My Groups, and it will take you to a list of both the groups that you belong to and then school groups that exist currently. What's nice about this, especially on our end, is if you wanted to create a department-wide group, this allows you to post updates or things that you're doing, attach documents, and share resources between teachers. So if you're utilizing other features like shared question banks or documents, then you don't want to use Google Drive and you want them to be focused on accessing them on Schoology, this is a place that you can do that. Speaking of resources, the third tab that we have at the top is the Resources tab. So the things that I wanted to highlight, you'll always default to your personal resources page. Next is public, then the groups that you belong to, and then the last option is any apps that you have enabled. So here's where you would find the Google Drive resource app or Dropbox or YouTube. If you have any apps that you want to install, just click Install Apps, and you'll have a list of the options that the school has preset for you. Additionally, this is where you can add archived courses to be able to copy to a class. So maybe there's a course from last semester. If we go to My Courses and we go to Archived, let's say I want to reutilize the information that I set up from AP Statistics. If I go here, I can go Copy Section, and this will say, where do I want to copy this? But maybe I don't want everything that was in that folder. Maybe I just want to take this course and go to Options and save the course to Resources. And by saving the course to Resources, now I can add ad hoc from my Resources page. Now I can add however many files that I want from my given course, as long as I know where to find it. You always have the option to place that in your home folder or more organization. Now, personally, I have a lot of different things that I've loaded onto my Schoology page. That's why there's so many things here. Additionally, this is where you can add question banks. So if you have utilized the software, which is in a video, if you want to focus on making question banks for Schoology, watch that video. This is where you will go to Import from Resources, and you'll given these options. Most question banks and things that you want to do are going to be Blackboard files. We'll go over that in a second. You give the name a list of a collection title, say like help, and you go from there. It says attach file, you do that, and then it will put it in the Resources tab. Another key feature, if people are working on building out rubrics and you want to develop your own learning objectives, this is where you find learning objectives. So by default, these are your personal learning objectives. What you can do is go add, you can add a folder, custom learning objective, or standards from the Common Core, etc. And this is where you're just pulling from them, so you have quick access to them. So if you wanted to build standards for claim, evidence, reason, and for math we added graphical display, now you have access to these learning standards. So if you're building out rubrics, you can. If I go back to learning objectives, for my AP Statistics course, for each of the free response questions that students had to respond to, I tied in all of the standards that College Board was utilizing to grade those free response questions. So it was an authentic representation, added those to a rubric, and it was easy scoring on what the students were able to know. So to access all of these, this is just in your resource section.